The National University of Agriculture, UNA, is one of those national thematic universities in the Republic of Benin.
Four people have been prosecuted in the case of the death of patients at the National University Hospital Center. Good afternoon, our dear viewers. You're welcome to the 1 p.m. news edition coming to you live and direct from Golfe TV Africa here in the city of Cotonou. I'm Hazel OGOIGBE, and of course, I'm not alone today.
I'm Metohuey ADOGLO. How are you doing today, Hazel?
Meto, I'm very good, ready to get started with the news. Now, starting with the news on the local scene. 4 people have been prosecuted in the case of the death of 4 patients at the National University Hospital Center, popularly known as Tinashu. And their fates were set on Tuesday, the 29th of November 2022. And of course, their punishment is 2 years imprisonment and a fine of 200,000 francs CFA. More information in the following report.
2 years imprisonment and a fine of 200,000 CFA franc for 2 National University Hospital Center agents in the case of deaths of patients in the intensive care unit. The 2 people convicted are the head of the electricity division of the hospital and one of his assistants. As for the 2 agents of the Palutech company, they were released for non-compliance. The 4 defendants were prosecuted for manslaughter. At the last hearing, the prosecution had requested 24 months, including 12 months, against each of the 2 agents of the National University Hospital Center and released the 2 agents of Palutech. During the hearing of the defendants before the public prosecutor, their lawyers stated there was no criminal fault in what their clients were accused of. They rather mentioned a malfunction. The director of the Palutech, the supplier of the breathing device, accused an agent of the hospital of failing to turn on the system in time. Before the court, he insisted that what happened was not the fault of his company, which delivered the device. When questioned about the statements of the director of Palutech, the indexed agent admitted he had forgotten to turn on the switch to resupply the area when the power was restored. To prove his point, he said he was overworked. It was overwork. I was confused. He replied to the judge, who wanted to know what caused the oversight.
Encore sous le choc.
Society in Africa, particularly in Benin, is considered by some to be a matter of spirituality. But for some time now, in the view of socio-economic situation that characterizes Benin at the moment, some people have been linking the fact of suicide to an ambient misery that is becoming more and more prevalent in urban and rural areas.
Le suicide, selon l'Organisation mondiale de la santé, se définit comme un acte qui consiste à se donner délibérément la mort.
Suicide, according to the World Health Organization, is defined as an act of deliberately killing oneself, an act that has various causes. Symphorien Yasundo finds that the ambient misery in Africa and in Benin is the cause.
Un souci, on peut parler de la misère, de la colère.
One can speak of misery of anger if the person does not exercise any activity and has children to support. It is a pressure because he cannot provide for his family.
Là, s'il y a la misère, s'il n'y a pas le boulot, on peut avoir des soucis.
Marius Bossou, in the exercise of his duties as a driver, is often witness to certain discussions of this nature held by passengers who board his vehicle. For him, nothing can justify this cruelty.
Souvent, moi, quand on parle de ça, quand on dit ça là devant moi, c'est d'urgence.
Little difficult condition, but we have to bear it. That is what I say to those people who have suicidal thoughts.
On doit le supporter. Souvent, c'est ce que moi dit d'urgence pour ne pas trop les mettre dans des situations plus profondes.
For these traditionalists, the guilt aspect and especially the spiritual aspect must be taken into account.
Ce qui se passe là, effectivement, il y a d'autres qui disent je vais le faire pour quitter.
Some people kill themselves because they feel guilty after having hurt someone. Sometimes they don't suffer, they are just afraid of being discovered. Moreover, the worst thing in Africa is related to witchcraft. Some people think that a force is often exerted on people who want to commit suicide and that pushes these people to do it.
Le plus pire en Afrique, précisément, c'est l'affaire de la sorcellerie. C'est bien que toi, c'est un homme, tu ne peux pas te lever et dire que tu vas te suicider sans quelque chose ne te pousse pas.
Because you are not yourself anymore. It is not something natural. In our country, we call it gudida. Sometimes the person has done harm. Sometimes it is the enemy who do not want him to evolve.
On appelle ça gudida. Peut-être la personne, il a fait quelque chose de mal à quelqu'un, ou il est en train de faire quelque chose et les ennemis ne veulent pas qu'il évolue.
In the ranks of sociologists like Ludovic Haifon, the problem is deeper than one imagines. But each one recommends sustainable and effective solutions to fight against such a fact, whether voluntary or involuntary.
Nous allons supprimer le chef d'État pour qu'il nous aide.
We asked the head of state, Patrice Talon, to help us because if some people come to commit suicide, it is because there are many problems in the country.
En tant qu'humain, dans cette vie, il y a beaucoup de problèmes qu'on doit éviter. Et surtout, nos collaborateurs.
We need to avoid a lot of problems. We need to communicate with our people, to talk about the things that are bothering us and try to correct them.
Essayer de corriger, parler avec des humains peut amener à suspendre au moins, parce que quand la personne a quelque chose dans son ventre qui ne dit pas, on ne peut pas savoir ce qu'il est là.
Il faut te protéger de tout sortes.
Protect yourself in every way, whatever religion you practice. If you are Muslim, you must respect the current practices. If you are Vodou, you must respect the prohibition of this religion so that in the event that something is sent to you, it will not affect you.
Là, si on t'a envoyé quelque chose, ça ne va pas t'atteindre.
Prendre conscience de qui on est.
Being aware of who you are, where you come from, and what your goals are gives you more reason to think about what could happen and how to overcome it. The challenge is to eliminate this offense for some and crime for others, which is a personal responsibility according to the different actors we interviewed.
Still on the local scene, the National University of Agriculture, UNA, is one of the two national thematic universities in the Republic of Benin. Now, its rectorate is located in Port Novo, and the schools are scattered between Ketu, Sakete, and Adjong. Now, we made a foray into the citadel of knowledge.
Travailler pour soi-même d'abord, c'est une liberté. C'est une liberté et on peut tout faire à tout moment. On peut aussi être agronome et porter des cravates, mais quand même, c'est pas pour venir au champ.
The National University of Agriculture, UNA, is one of the two national thematic universities in the Republic of Benin. Its rectorate is in Port Novo, and the schools are scattered between Ketu, Sakete, and Adjong. The mission of UNA is to ensure the adequacy between research, training, and employment in the agricultural field, and the need for development in this area. Here, the students talk about their motivations.
Après le bac, on a choisi des filières et j'ai opté pour l'école de la transformation des produits agricoles qui est à Sakete. En général, l'UNA. L'UNA, c'est l'Université nationale d'agriculture. Dès le bas âge, nous sommes habitués au champ. Mais comme on a dit, l'université...
After the bac, we chose courses, and I was in the school for transformative agriculture, Sakete. And the moment I heard of this university, I told myself, this is something for me, this is what I want. I chose here because of my ambitions and how it's aligned towards the core goals of the school, especially waste control or recycling of produce. These reasons brought me here, especially waste management.
De charbon écologique, on peut fabriquer des pavés avec. Donc, ce sont ces raisons-là qui m'ont amené ici. Surtout, comment conserver les produits agricoles. Parce qu'après la production, parfois l'eau vient ravager tout. Parfois, on conserve ça dans les greniers et les insectes, ils viennent ravager tout.
Sur le fait que j'ai d'abord compris que en matière de la terre, il y a de l'avenir. Et quand on fait l'agriculture...
First, I had to understand what the earth means, the soil from the earth, and that it is the future of life. And when you understand this in agriculture, you see life differently. Life starts from agriculture. When you work meticulously about it, you can make yourself a lot of money.
On peut déjà savoir faire quelque chose principalement. Et après la fin de notre formation, même si tu ne te...
The UNA aims to encourage and support the development of a strong agricultural economy. It also works to put operational agronomists with the support of a follow-up plan and a mechanism for professional integration of graduates. But in the quest for training, UNA students encounter some difficulties that hinder their development. In addition, these students ask for the support of the state to help them succeed in their university lives. The UNA is committed to creating a new generation of scientists and technicians capable of promoting technological innovations. The Amazon sculpture is a recognition of the bravery of the Amazons. The Amazon monument aims to establish a strong identity symbol for our country and consists of erecting an emblematic walk in tribute to the Amazons of Dahomey. According to the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Arts, we have more information in the following report.
The Amazon statue, a bronze-covered metal statue 30 meters high, made of metal. The figure is in motion with one foot on the mound and is carrying a weapon of war. The Amazon monument refers to an ancient all-female military regiment that existed until the end of the 19th century in the kingdom of Dahomey. It was a corps created under the reign of Tasi Hangbe from 1708 to 1711, and it was called ADOGLO or Mino. It was then restructured by King Guwezo. This first regiment of the women warriors was first created by Her Royal Highness Tasi Hangbe. It was later rehabilitated, improved and established by His Majesty King Guwezo in 1820 to become a special elite corps responsible for defending the sovereign and his kingdom. The adage of the Amazon was, win or die. The statue being unveiled was erected in homage to the valiant Amazons of Dahomey.
Je suis ici à titre symbolique parce que les Amazones, ça représente
I am at the symbolic place because the Amazon represents our history. A large part of Benin's history is linked to Dahomey. The Amazons fought for the liberty of Benin. This act triggers an immense love and respect for them that should not be and cannot be overemphasized. Looking at the Amazon, I am taken back to memory lane. There was a time that Beninese women were looked upon as women of valor. Today this valor is diminishing because today women are now victims of domestic violence. The Amazon sculpture is a recognition of the bravery of the Amazons. The Amazon monument aims to establish a strong identity symbol for Benin Republic and consists of erecting an emblematic walk in tribute to the Amazons of Dahomey, according to the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Arts. The Mignon or the Amazons of Dahomey are an ancient all-female formed military regiment of the Kingdom of Dahomey that existed until the end of the 19th century. They are so named by the Westerners and historians because of their similarities to the mythical Amazon of ancient Anatolia, the legendary race of the female warriors in Anatolia.
Pour moi, c'est une femme qui avait combattu. Elle était forte, courageuse,
in my perspective, the Amazon represents a female warrior that fought for Dahomey.
She was strong, audacious, and courageous. She really fought for Benin. Every time I come here, I remember a lady that made a lot of positive impact in the lives of women in Benin. Thanks to her, women experience a quantum of liberty. It was from 1818 onwards that the Dahomey Amazon Corps was developed and structured. At that time, King Hazel, who had just ascended the throne, formed an elite troop entirely devoted to his security. He recruited the members of this future battalion from among the slaves. Since women were cheaper on the slave market, he chose the strongest among them to turn them into seasoned warriors. From an early age, the Amazons underwent intense training in combat and in the use of weapons. The Amazons were psychologically conditioned to resist pain and to ignore pity. Feared and respected by the population, they had an almost sacred status. They continue to shine in that way, and they are recognized as a symbol of bravery to women.
Personnellement, je pense que ce site, c'est, comme le dit un symbole, qui signifie en réalité le combat acharné que les Amazones ont établi pour notre pays. Franchement, c'est une fierté.
Truly, it is something to be proud of because this symbolic statue is not found in just any country. The ladies and youth of today, if they could imbibe her positive traits, it would help them in making progress, not just in Benin, but beyond the borders of Benin. The Amazon represents a historical female force that should serve as a reference point for present and future generations of Benin, a symbol of Benin history and the epic of illustrious character, a source of pride and patriotic impetus for all Beninese, an interest in reappropriating the strong identity symbol of the Beninese women, a perpetration in the modern national context of the determining role of women in the culture and history of the Beninese people. The statue of the Amazon symbolizes values that will inspire the women and men of Benin towards courage, bravery, and patriotism.
Still on the local scene, the Dantokba markets, women are complaining about the poor sales due to the high cost of living and also the current economic situation in the country. Now they are crying for help and calling on the head of state to take the necessary steps to improve their living conditions. More information in the following report.
We,
the merchants of the market, have serious difficulties. We have practically exhausted our entire business. However, our children are still in our care. And in my case, for example, I am already a widow, so imagine what I endure. It is not easy at all. Since President Talon came to power, it has become very complicated. We no longer understand what we are doing. Everything is confused. Formerly, cereals were really quite cheap to buy. We used to get deliveries from Parakou. Today, a barrel of grain is so expensive that it sometimes costs 35 CFA francs. And despite the fact that there are new habits, people do not lower the prices. They do the exact opposite. They keep on increasing them. Frankly, it is necessary that President Talon regulate the sector if possible, because enough is enough. He has to help us. Poor market women like us can also get by with our families. And now he wants to relocate us from here and put us in the new markets. That's all well and good. But do you really think we have the means to integrate these brand new markets? We have limited means. We will not be able to bear the cost related to this new market, which will be located at GLO. So, do you really think we have enough resources to go back and forth every day from here to GLO? Is this how President Talon wants to help us? We can't be thinking of transportation and how to survive at the same time.
Hello, mon blue. I don't know if I'm a quite about to whom I global son, Malaleko. A queer band me where did there. They seem to Hunquaho, Malalon, Ruquahoa.
How fierce are they, Mommy, Telo and Jelly? Mimerali to feel when Mado Teme, de Bruno. In the Lego when I am me, Aliji Mikade Numbo.
One of the major difficulties we encounter is that we street vendors do not have a specific spot. The delegate of the district, the agents of the Market Regulation Office, and even the Republican police officers, everyone constantly demands us to free the public space. Once again, we beg the head of state for mercy so that we can also have a space of our own to sell. Secondly, we have to deal with the poor sales. Mostly, we hardly find 2,000 or 3,000 CFA francs per day in addition to all the expenses, and yet we also have mouths to feed. Everything is expensive in the market. Frankly, we don't even understand what's going on anymore, and it's very confusing. We don't even have the feeling that it's almost the holiday season. Usually from morning to night, you sit here and go home empty-handed. We need the authorities to help us, because if the population make more money, they can easily buy from us. Otherwise, there is a general poor sales situation. No one can predict the will of God. Maybe with the holidays coming up, there will be an improvement, but for now, it's extremely quiet around here. It's been like this for a while now, but since it's almost the holidays, we are hopeful that sales will improve. What we need to do now is to find a way to reduce the cost of the items we buy, because for the moment it is still too expensive and we do not have enough money to buy them. Even if we have to buy them, we have to increase the prices on our end. Otherwise, we will be running at a loss. Therefore, there is something that has to be done to allow us to buy the items at a lower cost. Let's take the example of corn. Previously, we bought it for 13,000 or 14,000 CFA francs at most. But now, you must have between 25 to 27,000 CFA francs to buy the bag. So, to be honest, all we ask is for them to allow us to make more money so that we carry on with business.
All right, now to a little bit of sports. The 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar is taking place in Qatar, 20th November to 18th December 2022. Mohamed Kudus Brace helped Ghana beat South Korea 3-2 in a thrilling match to receive the hopes of reaching the last 16 of the World Cup at Doha's Education Stadium on Mondays, the 29th November. Now, Ghanaian students in the diaspora shared their thoughts on the Black Stars' victory yesterday.
2022 FIFA World Cup is an international association football tournament contested by the men's national team of FIFA member associations. 2022 FIFA World Cup started from the 20th of November, scheduled to end on the 18th of December 2022. Mohamed Kudus scored twice, including the go-ahead goal after South Korea evened the match in the second half. And Ghana staved off elimination out of the World Cup with a 3-2 victory on Monday. It was the first time in the history of the FIFA World Cup that a team like Ghana has been able to qualify for the knockout stages of the tournament, stated the coach. The Ghanaian students in Benin Republic shared her excitement about Ghana winning the match.
My expectation about this match, it was really good, just that we're a bit disappointed, and I'm excited we were able to qualify. The first half went very well, but we don't know what went wrong in the second half. And the decision some of the coach made, it wasn't the best, but we hope for the best. Oh, we are praying they go very far, if only they're able to do their homework well. Kudus, he did very well. We are very proud of him wherever he is. We just pray that the coach should put in good measures that we're able to qualify and make the country proud. It's all teamwork, and we cannot do it alone.
Berilan shared his thoughts on the factors that influenced the Ghanaian team's victory.
So I can say that for the match, the start that our coach used today, it was something very interesting, because the formation was good. Compared to the previous match that we played today, it was a little bit changing it, and you could see that our defense was the midfielder come together with the defense, they were able to defend the game the first half and we were able to score as well.
South Korea played to a 0-0 draw in its opener with Uruguay. The team was making its 6th straight World Cup appearance.
I'm very happy. From the beginning, I wasn't expecting a win from Ghana though because I was so scared. But with the players' attitude today, especially from Kudus and our keeper, Atizigi, I'm sure we can go far. I'm just praying for a win against Uruguay. Then I'm sure Ghana can push far.
Ghana became the 3rd African nation to make it to the World Cup quarterfinals at the 2010 tournament. Black Stars captain Andrew Ayew was also on that squad. Ghanaians are really hopeful that their team would beat Uruguay come Friday. Ibrahim highlighted the challenges he observed during the match.
Oh, I feel very excited. I was very impressed with my team play today. In fact, it was an excellent display. I like the way they play. That their diamond formation was very perfect. I like that. Yeah, the only challenge I have noticed is that anytime we begin the match, like we feel like we are underdogs. So we pray like we are afraid. So we don't want to come out. And when we concede, that is where we now come out to play seriously.
Ghana wraps up Group H on Friday against Uruguay, while South Koreans play Portugal. Ghanaians are really hopeful that their team, the Black Axe, would emerge successful.
Still on the 1 p.m. news on Golfe TV Africa, let's join my colleague Metohuey ADOGLO for the sports segment of this edition.
Hello, good day to all tuning into Golfe TV Africa. Welcome to our sports review. And you know the World Cup is heating up and there's so much to talk about on the World Cup. So welcome to the sports review on Golfe TV Africa. Now let's get started. We start off with papers coming in from the Punch Extra. Now, Heskey wants Osimhen at Liverpool. We have that on page 7 of the Punch Extra Nigeria. Also, still talking about Qatar. Qatar is our main and primary function. Qatar 2022. Ecuador versus Senegal. Now, this was what happened yesterday. Ecuador lost to Senegal, the Teranga Lions, and this was a monumental victory because it meant now Senegal has 6 points and they have made it to the round of 16 for the first time since 2002. Since 2002, this is monumental. It just means now 3 African nations stand the chance of making it into the round of 16. We're talking Senegal, we're talking Ghana, and we're talking Morocco. Let's take a look at some of the reviews and some of the statistics that it has to offer today. Now, looking at the matches that were played yesterday, let's take a look at the matches played yesterday. So, take a deeper look at that. Now, let's tell you, Iran played the Senegal to the United States. That game went on 2-1 and making everybody happy about that. Africans everywhere celebrated that particular win. It was a win for Africa, not just for Senegal. Now, yeah, Senegal 2, Equator 1. Very, very sad for the Equatorians. They did have a very lovely game, but it wasn't enough to get the victory on the night. It just meant that Teranga Lions were the dominant side of that particular match, the dominant side of that game, which meant everyone was proud of that. Now let's take a look at some other sides that have played in the World Cup and that we expect a lot more from. As we take a look at Cameroon. Cameroon played a 3-3 draw with Serbia. This game was monumental. This game was everything anyone could talk about right there yesterday. They played a 3-3 draw, coming from 2 goals behind to make it a 3-3 draw versus Serbia on the night. Also, South Korea versus Ghana. That game also very, very tight, very, very challenging. But the Ghanaians, the Black Stars of Ghana, made it a 3-2 win for them, which made a lot of Africans proud of the game, excited because Ghana now has the chance to make it into the quarterfinals. The first time since 2010 when South Africa hosted the World Cup. Also, we have Group F. Well, Belgium versus Belgium are the second best in the world, in classment of the world, in the pool of the world. Belgium lost to Morocco, a fine Morocco side, if I might add, a fine Morocco side, 2 0. That was amazing. With Ziyech giving amazing passes. Ziyech of Chelsea and Belgium losing on the night, which means now Belgium just have 3 points and Morocco have about 4 points. Now let's take a look at some other of the African sides and they are featuring on the night. African sides doing proud, doing the continent proud on the night. Now also we had Tunisia losing. Tunisia was the only side that lost the only African side that lost the second game of the night. If not, Cameroon did good, Ghana did good. Senegal was amazing. Senegal is making the continent proud right now. Let's take a look at some of the stats and see some of the players on top. Now we have OGOIGBE of Netherlands with 3 goals. He has 3 goals to his name. 3 goals to his name. We also have an Valencia with 3 goals. We have Kylian Mbappe of France and of Cameroonian origin, 3 goals. Marcus Rashford, 3 goals. I did tell you as the competition kicks in, the stats would start to explode. Now we've seen a lot of 3 goals, 3 goals, 3 goals, 2 goals. But let's look at the African. We want to see some of the African sides that score goals and some of the players that have scored. We have Ghana, Black Star of Ghana, Kudus was his name, scoring exactly 2 goals. Mohamed Kudus of the Black Star of Ghana. He's got himself 2 goals. And moving into the round of 16, he's sure to get a lot more goals. We can't wait for that. We're excited about that. Let's take a look at the assists. We have Harry Kane with 3 assists so far. Bruno Fernandes, David Carson, Ivan Perisic, Jordi Alba. Sadly, we don't have any African sides on the assist list. Now let's take a look at the classement and what it means for the country. This is what it means. It means Senegal and Netherlands make it on top. Look at that. That is beautiful to see. 6 to 7. 6.7 points. This is what Senegal qualified for the competition, having Ecuador and Qatar, the host nation, out of the competition. We have England and the United States of America qualifying on 5, 7, and 5 points respectively. We have Poland versus Argentina making 4 and 3 points. They will play a couple of games today. We have France, who have qualified already with 6 to 3 points. We have Spain and Japan on 4, 3 points, with Costa Rica 3 points, and Germany, another tournament favorite, sadly and shockingly at 1 point on the night. It is tragic. Moving on from that, let's take a look at Group F. Group F has Croatia and Morocco. Croatia and Morocco stuck on 4 points each. It's not done yet. The job is not done yet. When you look at that, 4 points, 4 points, 3 points, 0 points. Canada is on 0 points. They haven't lost. They've lost both their matches, which is very sad. Belgium has lost one match, and now it means now we'll be playing Morocco, who will be playing Canada, a very fine Canadian side, if I might add. So it's not yet finished. It's not yet finished. Both are on 4 points, but Morocco can make it. All they need is a draw versus Canada, and they have 5 points, and they've qualified for the competition. Looking at Group G, Brazil, Switzerland, Cameroon, and Serbia. They're stuck on 6 points, 6 points, 3 points, 1 point, 1 point. So Cameroon has to definitely win versus Brazil. They have to beat Brazil. Cameroon has to beat Brazil before they can get the right amount of points they need. They need to beat Brazil. It's not going to be an easy task. They need to beat Brazil and get at least, because they're on right now still on 1 point. But if they get 4 points, all they need is 4 points. Cameroon needs 4 points to make it into the competition. This is what they require. This is what they need. Anything can happen. This World Cup has been so challenging. When you look at the African side have been better than the side that played in the 2018 World Cup and the side that played in the 2014 and 2010. In the last 3 editions of the World Cup, African sides have been doing us proud. Now looking at Group H, Ghana still not clear. They have to finish their last match today and get another win. They get another win, they get into history. They make it in history. Because so far, we have Portugal on 6 points, Ghana on 3 points, South Korea on 1 point, Uruguay on 1 point. Now Ghana will be playing later today. They will playing Uruguay. And that game, we can remember what happened in the last game versus Uruguay, where Suarez used his hand, would you call that the hand of God? He used his hand to stop Ghana from qualifying into the quarterfinals. So Ghanaians still have that memory, a painful memory, if I might add. So yeah, they have the chance to make history. They have the chance to screw it in and have Uruguay cry and knocked out of the competition after that ill game, that ill night. Again, can remember that ill night in the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. Let's take a look back at our papers. Say a couple of trending stories as the day progresses. So yeah. So far now, it's been revealed for the round of 16. Senegal will be playing England. Now, England has a very dominant squad. Harry Kane, they have all the players. They have almost all the best Premier League players on the side. All the best players in the world. And we have a Senegalese side that have a lot of youth, a lot of growth, and Africans are very unhappy about this draw. We feel it's unfair, but yet speaking to my guys today in the office, in the newsroom, and people are positive. Fingers crossed, Senegal can trump versus England later on the 3rd of December. So yeah, the English side, United States side also happy. Looking at some trending stories on the World Cup. Well, that's all we have for you on trending stories coming in from the World Cup. And let's get back to our drawing board. Now, this is our drawing board. We have the Senegalese side still celebrating. We need to bring more on that. Now let's take a look at some more stories. We're still by to declare 2022 festival open today. We have it on page 7. I don't know what that is doing in the sports segment. Also, Bassi Taz Kudu's star boy after World Cup. He scored 2 goals. We just revealed that he scored 2 goals already in the competition. 2 goals. He's one of the top scorers in the competition. Also, Wigan appoints Kolo Toure as coach. Now, this is very rare. We do not have a lot of black African coaches coaching in the Premier League, but Kolo Toure just made it one of the first African coaches to be coaching a top a second-tier European side, that is Wigan Athletic. Now, looking still at the Sport Extra, let's take a look and see some other papers and some other stories. Now, Onana released a statement after leaving the Cameroonian camp. We want to read more of that and find out exactly what happened, because Onana was punished by the Cameroonian side after having a fallout with the coach. He had a big fallout with the coach. The coach wants him to play less. Wants him to play conventionally and shoot the ball out, but Onana likes to play the ball at his feet. He likes to pass. He likes to stop the passing, and this is what he's used to in Inter Milan. And he refused. He refused to play the way the coach wants. The coach said play in a certain way. He says no, he's not going to play in a certain way, and this is the result of that. Onana out of the camp, and which means the second goalkeeper now has the chance to impress and hopefully play a better game and good game to ensure a qualification in the World Cup. Well, this is all we have for you for this edition of the Sports Review on Golfe TV Africa. I get my ball back. I'm proud, happy, and happy for the African side so far, and hoping they'll go farther. Metohuey Michael ADOGLO on the Sports Review on Golfe TV Africa. I'll see you later tomorrow. Well, hello and good day to all tuning to Golfe TV Africa. Welcome to the African Newspaper Review. Now, we will be touching on some of the top stories across the African continent. So yeah, the African Newspaper Review. Now, we head on to our first paper, as we, as usual, touch on the Punch Nigeria. Let's clean this up first, and we bring up the Punch Nigeria. Now, the Punch Nigeria reveals, top page, front page, says, private jet owners sue government owners for $300 billion in tax. We have that right there on page 2. Let's change the color and have a better color looking there. Now, yeah, we have that on page 2 of the Punch Nigeria. Now, import duty controversy. That is the problem right there. This is the problem right there. So, yeah, also 70 business moguls, banks, others move to government from grounding luxury jets. Aircraft owners sue government with foreign registered firms. Trustees insist payments are illegal. Also, NTAA customs await court papers. Abuja court plans to set hearings for a date soon. We have that all there, all on page 2 of the Punch Nigeria. Now, still on the Punch Nigeria, we'll be touching more papers as we tell you. The depots sell 220 per litre. Market is project 350 naira per litre at pump price. Now, this is talking about the fuel in Nigeria, the fuel price, pump price in Nigeria. Let's bring that down so you can have a very better look at that. Now, it says it's right there. That will sell at 220 per litres. Market is now Ipman. Others decried jump in building infrastructures on grocery Christmas during the Christmas on grocery during the Christmas season. We have that on page 24. Also, 87% of Nigerians' rural roads deplorable. That is from the World Bank. We have it on page 24 right there. Also, budget padding allegations of senseless says finance. Allegations of senseless says finance minister. We have that on page 8. Right there. And of course, you can get the Punch for 200 naira in Nigeria. Moving on from that, let's take a look at that now. NDLEA, NAB suspected drugs baron. We have and Brothers Fleas. We have that there on page 6 over Punch Nigeria. And the NDLEA are the authorities, federal authorities, equipped and intent on their primary function is to nab every drug affiliates or cooperates in the country. Now, this is the building where they were nabbed. The NDA has been doing some fine work. Has said it has been getting a lot of mobs, getting a lot of cocaine, seizing a lot of cocaine, especially in Lagos and coming in from the Papa port of Lagos, Nigeria. Now, still on the Punch Nigeria, Habili steals money, beheads lotto operator. We have that on page 4 and 5 of the Punch Nigeria, just right there. And you have a picture of the the robbery in question. Also, RMA, FAFC, FC undercovers all firms $205 million unremitted funds. Funds that they seem to be trying to hide. We have this right there on page 20 of the Punch of Nigeria. Well, moving on from that, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Ogun, deploy drones against kidnappers. Now, this is a very creative way to get a lead on, to get an aerial view and be able to nab kidnappers. So nab kidnappers, that is actually wordplay right there. We have that on page 12 of the Punch of Nigeria. Now moving on from the Punch Nigeria, we head to another paper coming in from Nigeria. As Nigeria is just our neighbors, just right there. We take an interest in the country, the self-dubbed giants of Africa. Now the front page of the nation Nigeria reveals. I'll let this just freeze for a sec. The front page of Nigeria reveals Ogun Central Monarch backs Abiodun for second term. We have that on page 27, just right there. We have that on page 27. Also, bandits demand new Naira notes to free abducted victims. Can you imagine how you abduct victims of the country and you're left with the fake currency? And since Emefiele has come out to change the currency, this means they are left with the old currency that they cannot change. So this just puts them back to square one. It means they have millions of naira they can spend, because they are with the wrong currency. The fact that Emefiele has changed the naira currency, naira color, has actually there are a lot of benefits towards it. And as we move forward, I guess we'll be discovering a lot more benefits as time moves on or as the fully develops. Now, Tinubu inaugurated Boeing Government House Road on page 28. Ronaldo and Emma begin World Cup quest as they have all qualified for the round of 16 in this global showpiece. Now, moving on from that to head to the center of the papers to tell you EXAGF, it just returned $900,000 cash. Witnesses have told the courts. We have that right there on page 28. Also, Wike overrated. Atiku camp hits back at Governor Osun Palace raised. Now, electricity crisis. Governors reject sale of 10 power plants. We have this right there on the front page, top page. Also, NGF insists on legal solution to $480 million Paris Club refund road. We have time.
Thank you so much, Metohuey, for the newspaper review. And our dear viewers, to end this news edition, here's a recap of our top stories. Suicide in Africa, particularly in Benin, is considered by some to be a matter of spirituality.
The National University of Agriculture, UNA, is one of the 2 national thematic universities in the Republic of Benin.
We also saw that 4 people have been prosecuted in the case of death of 4 patients at the National University Hospital Center, popularly called Sinashu.
And so we conclude this edition of the 1 p.m. English News on Golfe TV Africa. And I'll make sure to follow us on our social media pages. Stream us on YouTube, that's on Golfe International, to get the stream version of what we're doing. Also, the defragmented reportages you can get as well on YouTube on Golfe Medias. Follow our Facebook channels and share our links. Metohuey Michael ADOGLO, and I'm with
Hazel OGOIGBE. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day.
It was good.